It's a Throwdown Thursday on Sports Card Investor, and today a great matchup of two point guards who are going to be facing it off, Morant versus Trae Young. Whose cards would you rather invest in?
My name is Jeff Wilson. By day, I invest in tech companies, and at night, I invest in sports cards. Join me on my journey to profit from the hobby we all love.
Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another episode, a Throwdown Thursday, and an epic battle today between two of the hottest young basketball players in the league, Morant and Trae Young. Whose cards make a better investment? I am going to be answering that in today's episode. So let me tell you a little bit about Ja and Trae. Obviously, these are guys you probably have watched them play. You probably know a bit about their background and how they got here. But let me remind you that there are some differences between Ja and Trae and how they got into the league. You see, Ja was not a highly recruited player. In fact, coming out of high school, very, very few people knew about Morant. He got very little attention from colleges, very few scholarship offers, and that is why he ended up going to Murray State. He didn't have a ton of options, but he really did well when given the opportunity at Murray State. Now, he stayed there for 2 years, and his second year is when he really broke out. He became a consensus All-American his second year. In fact, he became the first player in NCAA history to score 20 points or more and 10 assists per more, to average that over the course of the entire season. He averaged 20 and 10 over the course of the season. No player had ever done that in NCAA history before. And when the nation really became to know about him was during the NCAA tournament last year. I am a big March Madness guy. Every year I get together with a bunch of my buddies to watch all the March Madness games. Love it. And I very specifically remember the excitement around Murray State's games and watching Ja play, being able to see what he was all about. And he really delivered. In their first round game last year in the NCAA tournament, the 12th seed Murray State destroyed 5th seed Marquette. And Ja had a game. He went for 17 points. He went for 11 rebounds. He went for 16 assists. And that a triple-double, he became only the 8th player in the history of the tournament to have a triple-double, and the first since Draymond Green had done it in 2012. In the next game, in the second round game, unfortunately, Murray State got beat down by Florida State in that game. Boo. But Ja still had himself a game. He had 28 points. He looked good, even though the rest of his team didn't. And we left the NCAA tournament feeling like this guy was going to be a star. Now, that's a little bit different than how Trae Young got to where he is today, because unlike Ja, coming out of high school, Trae Young was a super hyped recruit. People were excited about Trae Young. He had a lot of excitement. He was a consensus 5-star recruit. He was a great player in high school in Oklahoma, leading his team to the state championship game. And then, of course, he went to the University of Oklahoma, where much like Ja, he lit the world on fire. In fact, Trae Young became the first and only player to ever lead the NCAA in both points and assists. He led in both points and assists. So amazing that he, was able to do that. And he had, incredible statistics from his freshman year, 848 total points scored, breaking the all-time Big 12 record for the most points scored in a freshman player. And guess whose record that was, who he beat? Kevin Durant. He beat Kevin Durant's record. Also, Michael Beasley was tied for the lead as well with Kevin Durant until Trae Young overtook both of them. Now, what is interesting about Trae is that he was actually traded for Luka on draft night. And some people forget that. The Hawks had the 3rd pick in the draft, and they drafted Luka, traded Luka to Dallas, got Trae, ended up picking Trae. And so, what an epic trade. Luka and Trae being traded for each other. But what's really interesting, before you answer who won that trade, and you might by default say, well, Luka's Trae's great, but Luka's a little bit more epic. But the Hawks in return also got a 10th overall pick the following year, which they used to draft Cam Reddish. So the Hawks got Trae plus Cam Reddish. Dallas got Luka. It will be really interesting in a couple of years to see who actually got the best of that trade. I don't think we know yet. That's going to be an interesting one to watch. Ja, on the other hand, was, of course, the second overall pick taken by Memphis, not traded, stayed with Memphis. Both have been great since they have been in the league. Ja this year has averaged 17.6 points per game, which is, great for a rookie. Maybe on his way to winning Rookie of the Year, although it'll be kind of interesting to see if Zion gives him a run for his money here between now and the end of the season. Ja's had one 30-point game this year. That's his high point total, which is great for a rookie, 30-point game. And he has seen his scoring improve over the course of the season. In the last 5 games, he's averaged more than 20 points per game, which is a great sign to see him getting better and better over the course of the season, along with 3.4 rebounds, 6.9 assists, and 1 steal. Now this year, Trae, of course, this is Trae's second year. Trae has been absolutely on fire. He's averaging 30 points per game this year in his second year. He had a 50-point night just a couple of nights ago. He's also averaging 4.4 rebounds per game, 9.2 assists, and 1.2 steals. Now, if we go back to last year and we look at what Trae did his first year versus what Ja is doing his first year, Trae in his first year averaged 19.1 points per game to Ja currently at 17.6. Trae had 3.7 rebounds a game, Ja currently 3.4. Trae had 8.1 assists per game, Ja currently 6.9, and Trae had 1 steal per game, and Ja has 1 steal per game as well. So Trae Young's numbers a little bit better, but then again, Trae also had the whole season to work with, where Ja hasn't had the last bit of the season yet to maybe pull his averages up some. Ja, you could also argue, has more tools around him. So, Ja may not need to score quite as much as what Trae does. So both of these guys, great statistically. Trae at this point, a little bit more proven. We've seen Trae make the jump from his rookie year to his second year in the league, and it's been a big jump where Trae has been on fire this year with scoring and really doing well, of course, making his first NBA All-Star game ever in only his second year. It remains to be seen if Ja will be able to make that same jump from his first year to his second year. Hopefully he will. He certainly has the talent to do it. But so both of these guys are on a great early trajectory with their career. But the question is, whose cards should you invest in? If you could only buy one of their cards today, whose card should you buy? Well, let's go take a look at their current pricing. Going into my Market Movers data tool, we are going to look at their current silver pricing, their Prism silver pricing, and we're going to look at that in BGS 9.5. And the reason why we're looking at 9.5 is because there are more BGSs of Ja Morant currently on the market than there are PSA 10s. Those are just starting to come back from PSA, whereas the BGSs have been back for quite some time. So here's a graph of both Ja and Trae's PSA, or BGS 9.5 Prism rookie card sales. So Trae is the pink line on the graph, and of course that is Trae's Prism silver rookie. That's what that looks like. And Ja is the black line on the graph, and that is Ja's Prism silver rookie. That is what that looks like. Let's go full screen here to take a look. Now, what might surprise you is the upper line on the graph is Ja, not Trae. Ja is the upper line on the graph. Ja's cards are considerably more expensive right now than Trae Young's cards. And if you look at recent sales right now, Ja's BGS 9.5s are selling from anywhere between about $500 and $700. That's what all of these are going for, about $500 to $700. Whereas Trae Young's Prism Silver rookie card, BGS 9.5, are somewhere in the neighborhood of about $350 to about $400. So Trae, $350 to $400, Ja, $500 to $700. Now, granted, there are more Traes in existence, but over time, there will be more Ja's in existence because there's more Prism being printed this year than there was last year. Now, granted, it's a little tougher to get a good grade with this year's Prism than it was with last year's Prism, but I still think we will eventually see more Ja cards on the market with higher grades than we will Trae cards, simply because the overall population of cards printed this year, we suspect, is larger than it was last year. So to me, when I look at these numbers and I say, I could have the guy in his second year in Trae, who's made an all-star game already, has already averaging 30 points a game, has already had a 50-point game, and is showing that his career is on an amazing upwards trajectory, and his cards are $100 or a few $100 less than Ja Morant, who is, granted, having a great first year, but not quite as good as Trae did his first year statistically, and we don't know how he's going to make that leap to his sophomore year. We don't know when he's going to make the All-Star game. We don't know when he's going to drop 50 in a game. And we know all those things with Trae. To me, this one's easy. At the moment, you're better off putting your money in Trae. I'm sorry, Ja, you've been knocked out. Now, that said, couple things to keep in mind. Memphis does have a chance at the playoffs this year. The Hawks do not. So Memphis may get a little boost from the playoffs, whereas Trae is unlikely to have anything that's really going to give him a boost the second half of the year. So, if you watch this back in 6 months, you may see that Ja's prices are still above Trae's prices. That could very well be the case. But from a long-term bet, I like Trae Young a lot better than Ja Morant, especially given where Trae Young's card prices are today. That's what I got for you for this Throwdown Thursday on Sports Card Investor. I would love to know what you think. Would you rather buy Ja or Trae? Let me know in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on the podcast. Please join my Discord chat or my Facebook group, and you can let me know there what you think and continue this debate. By the way, the links to both the Facebook group and the Discord chat are on sportscardinvestor.com. And I want to once again thank the more than 300 people who have signed up for my membership program through sportscardinvestor.com. You are getting awesome access to analytics, insights, and card picks that you otherwise are not able to get. And if you are interested in finding out more about the membership program, simply go to sportscardinvestor.com and click on the membership button in the top menu bar. Thanks for joining. See you back this weekend for my next episode.